Hi, everybody, and welcome to Spiritual Expansion. The fourth in a series of 5, just one more to go. If you missed the others, do look at my Google account and they're there for replay. Or just drop me a line to my email address, lindawoodgate@live.com, and I will send you the links to those programs personally to your inbox. So spiritual expansion, what do I mean by that? I mean it's the invisible world, whether it's inside us or outside us, or in the plants, in the trees. For instance, it's very windy here at this moment. And I was looking at the trees and the effect of the wind, but you can't see the wind. But you know the effect of it. Can't see electricity most of the time, but you know the effect of it. And I think sometimes we forget about the energy that is around us and in us. And we forget the effect that it has on us. Like when we go into a room, you know, we know if there's an atmosphere. We know if something's happened. And we sort of sometimes ignore that. Sometimes ignore the fact that we are very special and we actually are very much aware of the invisible world. And maybe a long time ago, it was a very spooky thing to talk about spirituality or be of the mind of knowing about energy centers and chakras and all the things that go with that. But it's much more everyday language now and is used so much by so many people. And we use it in celebration, which is what the subject is about tonight. Celebrations and our belief systems. So we celebrate all sorts of things when you think about it. We celebrate birthdays, anniversaries, we have christenings, and of course we have Christmas, which is what part of the series is about the festive season and how we feel and how that affects us at the festive season. And this series is about how to enjoy that or embrace it or think about it in a different way. If it's never been a great time for you, then maybe it's time to have a look at it in a different way. And if you look at the celebrations, you know, before I came on, I Googled celebrations, and there are so many, and they are so different from all around the world. And even if we just talk about one country, there will still be many, many belief systems and celebrations of different things that will happen at different times. And people will have different opinions as well about those celebrations or festivities or how they're celebrated. In Germany, I think they have, you know, the beer festival. In Russia, they have a different style. In India, they swim. In New Zealand, they have different styles depending on the type of person that is here. It's a very, very multicultural country. And we all have our different traditions and celebrations of those traditions and those belief systems. And so where did they all come from? And why do we have different belief systems around the world? So I'm just having a little look at some of the belief systems so that we can actually understand them a little better and maybe allow them a little more. I know there are some that, you know, for the sake of religion, us humans are not very kind to each other for the total dedication of a belief system. And I'm not going to go into that now, but it's more about where do we get our belief systems from. So there is a belief that from the age of 0 to 7, all the information that you receive, you're like a big sponge that receives all that information. and you have no discernment at that time. You just receive that information, but you are receiving it through all your senses. So it's coming at you through your senses, from what you see, what you hear, what you smell, what you touch, the environment you're in, where you are, the type of carers that are taking care of you at the time, the influences that come into your life at that time. And remember, we learn more in those 7 years than we ever do at any other time. So in that, because besides learning to walk and talk and all those things, we pick up everything else. So we start our security, our belief system at quite a young age, and our right and wrong, and our disciplines. And so when we actually come across someone else that is doing something not like we do, we may think they're doing it wrong. But are they? From their perspective, they are doing what their belief system created for them. And remember, our subconscious mind, which I call the filing system, files absolutely everything that ever happened to you, but it will file it in its own unique way in that 0 to 7, and continuously, of course. But it will file it in its own unique way, because you are a unique individual. So you may have a twin, or you may have had somebody brought up the same as you, the same time, the same environment, the same influences, but you're completely different characters. And there's lots of reasons for that. But also within that is your different styles of belief systems that created who you are, your culture, your environment. Maybe you moved, from one country to another. Maybe you have several languages when you were younger. Maybe you had someone caring for you differently. And the country influences the weather, the place you lived, the style of food you ate. All those sort of things become part of who you are. And so part of that, when you look around the countries and the world and the hundreds and hundreds of belief systems that are out there, how can we all just be in one style of belief? It's not easy. And it's not been very easy, obviously, in some places, of total acceptance of other people's belief systems and where they are and who they are and how they worship, whatever they worship, whatever that might be. And as an interest, there are 153 different names for God. So there must be just as many religious belief systems that have celebrations at different times of the year for different reasons. And so when you come to the festive season where people celebrate Christmas, like, I'm in New Zealand, and to celebrate Christmas with jingle bells or carols singing, or winter scenes, seems really bizarre, seeing as the summer here in New Zealand is hot. And you have barbecues and you're outside and you're on the beach. But you still hear these songs, so it seems a little bit incongruous, but that's just how it is, and that's just how they celebrate and how the influences have been here. So within those belief systems, let's just say, for instance, we were talking earlier about sort of having to go somewhere. It is a family, friends, fun time for some, and some not for others, but it's a fun time of celebrating, whichever way you celebrate, even if it's just a day off or you decide to work, whatever it is. It's a sort of holiday time for a lot of people. So, and a lot of people buy lots of things for each other, and a lot of people eat particular traditional foods like mince pies, turkey, ham, barbecue steaks, roast turkey and stuffing, cranberry sauce, all those sort of things, Christmas pudding, setting the Christmas pudding alight and putting sixpences or what they used to be, a silver coin, in the Christmas pudding. So when you look at food, okay, and you perhaps don't really fancy the food that's there, but rather than get involved in, say, the conversation, which always seems to be the same, or people are always complaining or something like that, what you could do for yourself is think about the food on the table. Besides it being blessed or prayed over or just looked at, whatever, just think about where it's come from. How did the food get there? Besides buying it from the supermarket or wherever you bought it from. Think about the vegetables, let's say, that's on the plate. Where were they grown? How were they picked? How were the seeds put in the land? And all those things, maybe turning your gratefulness to that food was on the plate, that somebody grew it from a seed, from a plant, that somebody picked it or dug it up, and somebody packed it so it could be delivered to you. And then somebody cooked it so that you could eat it. So what I'm suggesting really is that when the festivities are there, maybe move your mind to somewhere that is a bit more positive, and feel, I know we're supposed to be grateful, but just honor what is there and how it got there. And it is a time for giving and receiving. And that giving and receiving, how good are you at that? How good are we receiving or giving? And at Christmas time we give lots of gifts. We go out and buy lots of gifts and give them, and presents. And children have an expectation of having gifts under the Christmas tree, if that's your type of festivity for this time of year. And so when you give those gifts, when you wrap those gifts, do you expect a return? Do you have an expectation of a return for you buying that gift? Do you buy the gift for its value, or do you buy it because it's what you feel is right for that person? So when you give that gift, is there an expectation of a return? And if there is an expectation of return, will you get disappointed if it doesn't happen? So maybe allow yourself to give without expecting a return from that gift. The same is, receiving. Are we people that receive easily and effortlessly? Do we receive the gift as it's given to us? And some people are not very good at receiving, but very good at giving. So have a think. How do you feel when you give a gift to someone? How do you feel? Do you feel great, alive, generous? All those more charitable, whatever the words are, do you feel that? And if you feel that, why will you not allow other people to feel that, for you to receive that gift from them and allow them to gift you something? It's the act of giving and receiving rather than the actual gift of itself. Maybe something there that you could feel comfortable with, to make yourself feel a little bit more comfortable in the giving and receiving of Christmas, and words like that. And the next one, really, to have a little think about at this time of year, is loving where you are and what you are. Love yourself, love the food, love the gifts. Just feel that inspiration to yourself to maybe love the things that are around you. If you get a little bit grumpy, then maybe just go out into nature. Just take a walk somewhere and look at nature and breathe in the air that is around you. Take a deep breath before you speak or say something. You can't take back those words, so maybe they're better not said. If they're not going to be very nice, if they are going to be abundant and beautiful and honoring the person for who they are inside, not necessarily the bit you see on the outside, but the person inside, honor that. And if the words are going to be nice, if not, take yourself for a walk and give yourself a break from that situation. And have a wander in nature. Have a look at how amazing nature continues 24/7. Just like the sun comes up every day and gives us light. It never stops giving us light. It never says to Mother Earth, I'm not going to shine today. It's very unconditional. And maybe we could take a little note out of their notebook and be that. And you know, some of the smallest changes that we can make bring about the biggest results. And the changes have to be within us, not outside us. You can't expect other people to change. Your responsibility is to be you, the kind you, the person that is not on the defensive all the time. And so you're responsible for your words. You're not responsible for people's reactions, but you are responsible for how, what, and where you say them. Would it be nice not to say them? To be kind and practice that kindness, that lovableness, that laughter that is inside you, knowing that it's always going to be there, loving and kind. And I'm just going to take a quick look at my notes to see if I've remembered everything. So if you have a question or you'd like to say something or just say hi, it would be great to hear you in the chat box. So just give me 2 seconds while I look, because I would hate to miss anything that I feel would be appropriate at this time for you to take away and enjoy. One of the things I've written down here is take a look at your year as well. How is your year? What things have happened to you in the year that you've just had? Look at the good things, not the bad things. Look at the things that you have achieved. There's always something that you've achieved. There's always a smile in there. There's always a laughter. And hold those at this time of year. Hold those for yourself and keep them for yourself so that you feel love and caring and honoring and all those wonderful feelings that you could change. You can change if you so choose, just a little bit. You don't have to change a lot of you, but just change a little bit. Just change some of the things that are happening to you at this festive season so that you can take those, look at your year and take the fun, the positive aspects of this year into the next year. It's been great to be with you. I believe I've covered everything that I wanted to cover today. And take care. And I look forward to seeing you all next week at the same time, which will be the final one, and celebrate and looking forward to giving you hints and tips on how to get through the festive season, or just how to enjoy your life and embrace your life and have fun with it. Whatever you're doing, you know, we can take our experiences forward into the new year. We don't have to take the emotions with us because the experiences have made us who we are today. And embrace those experiences and bring them forward, knowing that you are a unique individual. Love, and love your moments. Take care now. And if you have any questions or queries, please feel free to look up my website, lindawoodgate.com, or email me, lindawoodgate@live.com. Have a great evening, morning, afternoon, whatever works for you. Bye for now.